Hi, y'all. I'm Tom.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie.
And this is English Digest, and today we're going to be celebrating Ghost Month, which I assume is going on right now. Of course, I'm a Westerner. We base our days on the Western Gregorian calendar. But, of course, here in Taiwan, lots of people observe festivals and things like that according to the lunar calendar. And according to the lunar calendar, this is Ghost Month. And in today's program, we're going to try to do our best to introduce Ghost Month to you from an American's perspective using English, although I'm sure all of you know a lot more about it than we do.
Oh, I'm sure about that. I've lived here a long time, but I've always considered Ghost Month to be around July. So this seems kind of late for me. But, you know, the lunar calendar seems to shift quite a bit. So we'll go ahead and read through and then we'll talk about this. Although there's not much we can share that they don't know already, but we'll be speaking in English about it, not Chinese.
Those who've grown up in Taiwan are likely accustomed to such cautions as stay out of the water and don't whistle during the 7th month of the lunar calendar, or Ghost Month. At this time, it's believed that ghosts and spirits temporarily rejoin the living world. On the first day of Ghost Month, the gates of hell are opened, allowing ghosts to pass through. They return to hell on the last day, and the gates are closed once more. Out of respect for the dead, many prefer to speak of the ghosts as good brothers. Families and businesses alike honor the good brothers throughout the month. On the first day, makeshift altars are set up with offerings of food, incense, and ghost money. Zhongyuanjie, or Hungry Ghost Festival, occurs on the 15th day when the ghosts are most active. The living make sacrifices and prepare feasts for their ancestors. They also pay tribute to homeless and wandering ghosts so that every ghost feels fulfilled. On the final day, the chanting of temple priests alerts the ghosts to the gates closing. If all's gone well, the ghosts return home appeased. In Taiwan, many people avoid certain taboos during Ghost Month. For instance, people are advised not to go out at night as they can be more easily possessed by ghosts after the sun sets. It's also thought best to avoid the water during Ghost Month, as ghosts may try to drown swimmers and take their place among the living. Both whistling and turning around after being tapped on the shoulder are also good ways to invite ghosts into your life and should be avoided at all costs.
Ooh, we should have scary music playing while we talk about this particular article. Oh, Ghost Month. We're calling it a gripping guide to Ghost Month. We're trying to have a title with a lot of G sounds there. A gripping guide to Ghost Month. Kind of cute. If it's gripping, it really holds your attention. You don't want to look away. You know, if a movie is gripping, you don't want to turn the channel. You want to just keep looking. You can't look away. So it's a gripping guide. We're going to talk about some things that will have you really paying attention because we're talking about Ghost Month.
We certainly are. So here in the first paragraph, it says, those who've grown up in Taiwan are likely accustomed to such cautions as stay out of the water and don't whistle during the 7th month of the lunar calendar, or Ghost Month. So if you've grown up in Taiwan, you're used to this. You're accustomed to these cautions. Caution here is a noun. It just means it's something that you need to be careful about. So this is a caution here. Stay out of the water. You may have heard your grandparents tell you this. Hey, it's Ghost Month right now. Don't go swimming. It's dangerous to do that. Don't go in the water. Stay out of the water. And also, don't whistle during the 7th month of the lunar calendar, which is also referred to as Ghost Month. Now, of course, whistling here, I would love to give you an example of that right now, but since it's Ghost Month, I will actually respect the local custom here, and I won't whistle, but basically, you just create a sound by putting your lips together and blowing. You can whistle a tune or something like that to whistle which a lot of people here in Taiwan don't really do so much.
We don't whistle much here. We whistle a lot in the States, especially if you have a dog and you want your dog to come back. Some people are really able to whistle loudly.
Right.
That's a different kind of whistling than a tune that you were talking about. But yeah, they don't whistle here, except to help little kids go to the bathroom. When they learn when they potty train them, they'll whistle. And so when I first moved here, I became a little bit self-conscious about whistling because I thought, whistling means something different here.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I've seen it, Tom.
I guess we were supposed to do that when training my daughter to use the potty and stuff like that. Who knows? It might work. I don't know. But in any case, you're not supposed to whistle during the 7th month. That's something they caution you about. And oftentimes we talk about the calendar for farmers here as the lunar calendar. Lunar means having anything to do with the moon, like when the Earth blocks out light from the sun and then the moon is in darkness. That is a lunar eclipse. I think there was one earlier this year, or maybe last month. I'm not sure, but in any case, a lunar eclipse. But here it's the lunar calendar. That's the 7th month of the lunar calendar. Of course, that would be different on the solar calendar or the Gregorian calendar.
Now, at this time, it's believed that ghosts and spirits temporarily rejoin the living world. So ghosts and people who have passed away, their spirits come back and they join us. And so they're with us in the living world. Now, on the first day of Ghost Month, the gates of hell are opened, allowing ghosts to pass through. That sounds scary because supposedly if you go to hell after you die, you haven't been a good dude or a good person while you've been alive. So these are bad, bad ghosts. And they return to hell on the last day of Ghost Month, and that's when the gates are closed once more. You'd think if they're bad ghosts and they're in hell, they wouldn't get a chance to come and play for a couple of weeks a year, but they do, according to tradition.
That's right. And I should say here that the Chinese hell is probably different from the Western idea of hell. Even within the Judeo-Christian tradition, there are different interpretations of what hell is. But I guess you have to have your own interpretation here of what hell is. The gates are open, the ghosts come out, and they return to hell on the last day. So they get a wander about the world for 1 month until those gates are closed. I wonder what happens if they don't make it back in time. Do they have to stay out for the rest of the year? Who knows? But in any case, let's move on to the next paragraph here. It says, out of respect for the dead, many prefer to speak of the ghosts as good brothers. So that's out of respect for the ghosts. You could call them ghosts, but even in Chinese, I think the word for ghost is not really a nice word, especially if they, sometimes they refer to foreigners as a foreign ghost, so ghost must not be a good word. So they don't refer to them as ghosts per se. They use the term good brothers. They prefer to use this term. If you prefer something, that means that's what you'd rather have.
Yeah, you like something better than something else. So we often use this phrase out of respect for the dead when we're talking about rules of politeness. When someone's passed away, you're not supposed to criticize them, at least immediately. You're supposed to speak well of them. So out of respect for the dead. They prefer to call them good brothers. So families and businesses alike, remember this alike is very close to both, but both precedes the two nouns and alike follows them. So both families and businesses honor the good brothers throughout the month. So I see a lot of tables outside businesses stacked with food and with incense, and a lot of that is happening during the very hot months of the summer here. I try to walk around them as much as I can because it makes the air even hotter here.
Yep, well, those tables you're referring to are actually makeshift altars. So on the first day, we've got these makeshift altars. They are set up with offerings of food, incense, and ghost money. So if something's makeshift, it's kind of temporary. It's not a permanent giant altar. An altar, of course, is a place where you put deities and an incense burner and stuff like that. Lots of people have altars in their homes made out of that redwood, I guess. They're actually quite beautiful.
Yeah, I like it.
But these are temporary ones set up in front of businesses or in front of houses or something like that. They're makeshift altars, temporary. And they have all these offerings. Things that you're offering to the dead, to the deceased, to the ghosts, to the spirits, to the good brothers. Like food, you're offering incense, of course, and also ghost money. That money, usually it's those little yellow squares with the gold shiny square in the middle of it.
Right. That is burned, usually in a metal pot. I see it often outside. So an altar is just a place where offerings are given to whatever god you are devoted to. So these are offerings of food, incense, and ghost money. I asked one time, I said, who eats this food? Because there's a lot of food on the table, and it looks kind of tasty sometimes. And they go ahead and eat it. So 中元节 is the Chinese, of course, for Hungry Ghost Festival. I've never seen it called Hungry Ghost Festival, but we typically just refer to it as Ghost Festival or Ghost Month. I hear mostly. So it occurs on the 15th day when the ghosts are most active. If something occurs at a certain time, that just means that's when it happens. That's when it takes place. So it occurs on the 15th day. And if a ghost is active, I can imagine he's just going from one place to another. If you're active, you're moving about. You're not just sitting somewhere or lying down somewhere. You're actually moving about.
So they're moving about for most of the month, but they're kind of taking it easy. They're pretty leisurely moving around. But on the 15th, boy, they're going nuts. They're really active on that day. And that's why you will see all these makeshift altars, lots of incense, lots of paper money being burned on that day.
We want to keep the ghosts happy, right?
We certainly do.
Yeah.
And, of course, the offerings of food are smelled by the spirits, not eaten by them. Once they smell it, then the regular people are free to do whatever they want to with those offerings. Okay, that brings us up to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break right now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们呢都知道，在农历的7月，也就是我们俗称的鬼月，英文就称之为 Ghost Month。我们来看一下今天文章的第一个句子。Those who've grown up in Taiwan are likely accustomed to such cautions as stay out of the water and don't whistle during the 7th month of the lunar calendar or ghost month. 那么在这里讲到的 those， 然后同学们可以从 who 开始括号，一直括到呢 Taiwan， 也就是那些在台湾长大的人呢，很可能就已经习惯了这样子的 cautions。caution 指的呢就是一些警告或者是告诫，像是 stay out of the water， 你要远离水， don't whistle，不要吹口哨，尤其是在有鬼月之称的农历7月。我们先来看一下 be accustomed to， 在这里解释成为逐渐习惯的意思，常常也会看到它搭配的像是 become accustomed to 或者是 get accustomed to。 我们来造个句子吧。 He had become accustomed to living without electricity and missed it very little. 指的呢就是他早就已经习惯没有电的生活，也很少去想电这件事情了。所以 be accustomed to 要特别注意的是后面加的是名词，那么碰到动词的时候就要以 VING 的形式来表达，解释成为逐渐习惯某事的意思。那这两件事情在鬼月呢就要少点做，那鬼月就在我们的农历或者是阴历的第7个月，在这里的 the lunar calendar 指的就是农历或者是阴历，而我们所谓常常过的 Chinese New Year 也就是 the lunar New Year， 也就是农历的新年咯。为什么呢？在第一段的后面有提到On the first day of Ghost Month, the gates of hell are opened, allowing ghosts to pass through. 其实在鬼月的第一天呢，鬼门会打开来，那么也在同时 allow somebody to do something， 允许某人做某事。那么这个时候呢，所有的鬼就可以通过这个鬼门，就来到了我们所居住的世界当中。第二段的第一句提到 Out of respect for the dead, many prefer to speak of the ghosts as good brothers。在这里的 out of respect 指的呢就是出自于他的尊敬，出自于对亡者的尊敬呢，许多人比较喜欢在提到鬼魂的时候是以good brothers， 也就是好兄弟来尊称他。而后面还继续提到 On the first day, makeshift altars are set up with offerings of food, incense, and ghost money。在这里的 makeshift 当作形容词，解释成为临时待用的。像我们看到许多灾害发生，有一个临时搭建的屋子，也可以说是 makeshift homes。而这些 makeshift altars 这临时搭建的祭坛呢，上面会摆满了很多的食物、香或者是冥纸等等的贡品。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about Ghost Month here in Taiwan, and we're talking about where it came from, what are some of the activities that go on, and we left you when we were talking about the first day of Ghost Month, when the ghosts are really, really active, they're moving about, and that's when people are putting up those makeshift altars. They're usually tables outside of a business or a home. Typically, I live in an area with a lot of businesses, and not all of them, but a lot of them will put out a table. And some of the employees in the business will come out every once in a while and, light some more incense, burn some paper money. We call it ghost money. And that occurs on the 15th day. Now, the living make sacrifices and prepare feasts for their ancestors. Your ancestors are those in your family that lived before you. And those that come after, are your posterity, but your ancestors came before you. Now, if you make a sacrifice, you do something that is difficult, that you're giving up for yourself to help somebody else. Or you could sacrifice some money to help a friend. Maybe you wanted to buy a new car, but your friend was in a desperate situation and you lend this friend some money instead. That's a sacrifice. You also prepare feasts. Feasts are very important in Taiwan because people here love to eat.
I would call those wedding banquets, of course. It's like a feast when you invite lots of people over for a big meal to celebrate someone's wedding. And, of course, sacrifices here. Of course, when I first came to Taiwan, the word sacrifice to me means you're actually killing something. In the old days, like the Aztecs in Mexico, they would sacrifice humans.
That's a long time ago.
To the gods, So when they said, yes, for Ghost Festival, we make sacrifices. Oh, really? Do you like take a dog down to the temple and kill it there or something like that?
I've seen dead pigs in front of temples, though.
I suppose that might be considered a sacrifice, but maybe, sacrifices don't necessarily have to involve killing something. You can leave fruit out there, or food or meat or something. Those are considered sacrifices, and these are all part of feasts for the ancestors. And here the living, they also pay tribute to homeless and wandering ghosts so that every ghost feels fulfilled. So they don't leave them out. They pay tribute to them. They probably mention them in their prayers as well. They burn a stick of incense for them or something like that. These are homeless ghosts who don't have a home. Maybe they died when their relatives were all gone and nobody performed the rites for them or something like that. They're wandering around. They don't know where to go. They don't really belong anywhere. So they try to include everybody there so they'll feel fulfilled, which means you get everything that you want.
Yeah, so on the final day, the chanting of temple priests alerts the ghosts to the gates closing. Oh, so that's the signal that these priests send out to the ghosts to say, hey, time's up. get back in hell. So if you alert somebody to something, you send out a signal of some type. Maybe you're just calling up somebody and alerting them to the fact that you saw their name in the newspaper and they need to check it out. Or there are lots of alerts that we get from the government. If there's an earthquake, a Dijen alert will come on my phone, will let me know. Or when they're testing, what's the military?
Air raid
drill. Yeah, the air raid drill. They'll alert you.
Last June there was one.
Yeah, so those are alerts. So the temple priest, that chanting is kind of the signal to the ghosts that the gates are closing. They better get back fast.
So they probably do some chanting or something. They kind of pound on those wooden fish or something like that. Maybe bang some gongs or something like that. And the ghosts hear those alerts and they say, oh, it's time to go back. The gates are closing. If we don't make the curfew, we'll be in big trouble. So if all's gone well, the ghosts return home appeased. They're happy, they're satisfied, they're fulfilled, and there shouldn't be any trouble for the rest of the year. Now, moving on here to the final paragraph, it says, in Taiwan, many people avoid certain taboos during Ghost Month. So, of course, there are lots of taboos in any society, things that you should avoid. For example, that's a taboo. You could describe something as being taboo. Oh, it's taboo to talk about death. You know, people don't like to talk about that. It's taboo. If you talk about it, maybe it will actually happen or something like that. So that's a subject that people avoid. But here, taboo as a noun means it's a custom that is practiced, and usually it's something that you're supposed to avoid. Like a taboo is to go swimming during Ghost Month, as we mentioned earlier. What was the other one we mentioned? Whistling, yeah. That's a taboo. Don't do that during Ghost Month.
For instance, people are advised not to go out at night, as they can be more easily possessed by ghosts after the sun sets. I don't think they tell people who are in the night markets during the summer that they're in danger, because there are a lot of people out on the streets and night markets during the Ghost Month. Now, if someone advises something or advises you about something, they're giving you advice, they're giving you counsel, they're giving you some information that they hope will help you if you take it. If advise is the verb, guys, notice this, it's very important. The verb is advise with a Z sound, and the noun is advice. And it is an S sound, but it's spelled with a C. A-D-V-I-C-E, advice. Give someone some advice. Advice is non-count. Please don't say I'm going to give you advice.
An advice or some advices. No, don't say that.
Some advice.
Some advice, yes. Don't add an S to that. So, for example, I could say, I advise you to do some research before you open a restaurant to make sure you understand your market and things like that. So, yes, it is advised not to go out at night. And that's because you could be possessed by ghosts. They could actually take over your body. That's to be possessed by. We often use the passive voice there. Yes, John there is possessed by the devil, so we need to call an exorcist to have the devil forced out of him.
Of course, an exorcist belongs to the Catholic Church.
Exactly. Of course, there was a movie back in the 70s called The Exorcist. It was kind of scary.
Very scary.
I've never seen it myself, but that was about someone who was possessed by the devil. So if you go out at night, you might be possessed by ghosts after the sun sets. It's also thought best to avoid the water during Ghost Month. We did hear that. Don't go swimming during Ghost Month, as ghosts or because ghosts may try to drown swimmers and take their place among the living. To drown means that you basically have your body filled up with water, your lungs filled up with water, and you die as a result. So ghosts may try to drown you if you're swimming, and they'll take over your body or something like that, although I don't know how they would do that if you've drowned. But in any case, they use that as an opportunity to possess someone, I guess.
Wow. So in one of the hottest months of the year, you're not supposed to go in the water. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. But, you don't want to be drowned by some crazy ghosts out there. Now, both whistling and turning around after being tapped on the shoulder are good ways to invite ghosts into your life and should be avoided at all costs. Oh, I forgot about the being tapped on the shoulder. I heard that a long time ago. So you can't whistle. And if by chance someone taps you on the shoulder, whatever happens, no matter what, you don't want to turn around. If you avoid something at all costs means no matter how difficult, how outrageous, you have to avoid this. So it's important not to pay attention to someone if they're tapping you on the shoulder during this important time of the year, Ghost Month.
Indeed. For example, I could say, oh no, there's a shooter killing kids in a school.
Oh.
We have to stop him at all costs. We need to go in there and stop that guy doing this. Of course, that would never happen here in Taiwan, but in any case, at all costs means, yes, you just should not let that happen no matter what. As you all know, it is Ghost Month right now, so I suppose people here in Taiwan have different ways of observing Ghost Month. Personally, I never really know it's Ghost Month until one day I see, oh, there are all these makeshift altars all over the place. These tables set up with lots of food and people burning paper money and burning incense.
Yeah, I never realized.
Yeah, I never realized that until I actually see that. And then I realize, okay, I'll pay respect to the ghosts now, even though I didn't really know Ghost Month was going on. But hey, no matter how you observe Ghost Month, we hope you do it correctly. And hopefully all of those ghosts will feel fulfilled. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
接着我们来看到，刚刚是在讲7月的第一天，那么最后一天呢，在第二段的倒数第二句提到 On the final day, the chanting of temple priests alerts the ghosts to the gates closing. 到了最后一天呢，你就会听到寺庙僧侣的诵经声，就会提醒这些鬼魂们，鬼门要关闭了。在这里 chanting 其实来自于动词 chant， 当作动词有念诵或者是吟唱的意思，这里当然指的呢就是念经咯。来 alert 当作动词有通知跟提醒，通知什么人to something, alerts the ghosts to the gates closing. 那么要提醒他们鬼门快要关了。后面还提到 If all's gone well, the ghosts return home appeased. 如果一切都进行得很顺利，这些鬼魂们呢就可以返回到地狱，会觉得有受到安抚，受到抚慰了。下一段的第二个句子提到 For instance, people are advised not to go out at night as they can be more easily possessed by ghosts after the sun sets. 在鬼月的时候有很多的 taboos 禁忌，举例来说，你就一定有听到有人劝你不要在晚上出去，因为比较容易被鬼魂缠上。这里的 advise 当作动词是忠告劝告的意思， advise somebody to do something，劝告某人去做某事。最后我们来看一下文章的最后一句 Both whistling and turning around after being tapped on the shoulder are also good ways to invite ghosts into your life and should be avoided at all costs. 像是吹口哨，然后呢被拍肩膀的时候转头，都是招鬼魂到你生活当中的一些好方法哦，所以要不惜任何代价At all costs, 一定要避免这些状况的发生。OK, 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time for another edition of our program. We've got some more to talk about concerning Ghost Month, so please join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.